Hey everyone, Jules here on Dropping Jules, and we talk about everything real estate and everything in between. And today, my guest is Edgar Vargas. Hey Edgar, how are you doing?
Hey, Julie, doing good. A little bit chilly. That's why I got my sweater here in Georgia, starting
It-
to that fall weather.
oh, Georgia and the cold. Yes, yes, yes. We know how that is. Trust me, I joke about that, but I'm in Florida and I wear hoodies all the time, so I totally get it. Totally get it. Well, Edgar, thank you so much for coming on and to share your insights with our audience. It's been a while, and I know we wanted to catch up, and I'm so glad we're able to do it today. So, thank
Yeah,
you so much. It's a pleasure to have you on.
thank you, Julie. Yeah, absolutely. Grateful to be here with you and be able to share my journey so far and definitely connect, right? It's been a bit.
It's been a bit.
I didn't get to go to the last two retreats we had for Owners Club, but I'm excited for the one in Miami. So hopefully
Oh, yes.
I get to see you there.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. So tell us, Edgar, a little bit about yourself, background, where you live, where you're from originally, and we'll get started that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm based out of Georgia. I lived here in Georgia for the past 20 plus years. I lose track of time pretty fast.
Yeah.
But originally, I lived in California for a few years. But
Mhm.
then I guess parents decided to come here in Georgia, and now I'm a southern
Oh
boy.
boy. What part of Georgia you live in?
So I live northwest of Atlanta, which is 45 minutes northwest of Atlanta, like Marietta, Powder Springs, Dallas, Georgia, Paulding,
Mhm.
Cobb
Awesome.
County. Yeah.
Oh,
So
so you're Cobb
that's
County?
my
That's
side.
where
Yep.
I used to live. I used to live in Marietta, and I still have a lot of
Okay. Yep.
family living in Georgia. So Dallas, you mentioned Dallas.
Yeah. Dallas, Georgia.
Oh, so you're close. The next time I'm there, I'm gonna look you up because my aunt still lives there. So,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Well, there we go. Yeah. You're going to be pretty close. Marietta is like 10, 15 minutes
10, 15,
away.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty close. We were right on what, Holly Springs?
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's changed.
Nice.
Cobb County has grown so much since.
Yeah. Georgia's
Yeah,
grown so much. It's
yeah,
crazy.
absolutely.
It's always like that joke around. It's like, hey, we should have been in real estate sooner.
I know, I know, I know. Well, that's awesome. So tell us some background. What do you currently do? You have a W-2, so tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I graduated with an electrical engineering degree. I've
Okay.
in my search for what I was going to do with that degree, I ended up falling in the healthcare space.
Okay.
So I work on medical imaging equipment, but now I'm provide like the technical support for the field.
Mhm.
I've been doing it for close to 12 years now, no, a little bit more.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Time
it's
flies when you're
definitely
having fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely pretty knowledgeable in that space and been able to just provide the support there to, the field engineers and blessed to be able to work from home and be able to
Wow.
work remotely. Yeah, so
Yeah.
calling my home office, right? So
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I love the work from home model. So yes, that's great. All right, so cool. So engineering background, okay, okay. You're the numbers guy and you're always analyzing everything from A to Z and then some, right?
yeah, well, I don't know about the numbers. I'm more of like problem solving
Problem
type of
solving.
enginering. Yeah,
Okay.
not too quick with my numbers, which is they always, but you're an engineer. I'm like, yeah,
But we
I
have
can
different
solve
types of
complicated
engineers.
problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, problem solver. Okay, wonderful. So we talk about real estate. So tell us, how did you get involved in real estate? Like what made you shift from the engineering and wanting to get started in real estate?
Yeah, it's always been the curiosity. I think, for a while there, we followed Dave Ramsey for several years. Me and my wife did, go debt free.
Uh-huh.
We finally made the debt free journey and
Awesome.
we were like,
Okay.
oh, we're debt
Congrats.
free. And it was
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yes, we're excited.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking about, well, what are the next steps? And
Mhm.
at that point, Dave Ramsey continues to preach is like save, save, save,
Sure,
save,
sure, sure. Yeah.
which is great. But, we start exploring other ideas. And my wife has always been one of those like, hey, we should own a rental property, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's so that could potentially grow over time. And haven't been, I was like, no, we don't need a
We
rental
don't need a
house.
rental
Why? Like,
property.
I don't want to deal with tenants. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So, having those conversations just made me dig more into what
Hmm.
is real estate, right? Like, is it
Yeah,
just about renting property or owning properties, or is
sure.
it what other businesses are inside real estate? And then I came across our mentor, Pace Morby,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the way you could acquire properties with, creative ways using creative
Hmm.
structures. So Yeah, I went into Subto, which was the first community I
First
joined.
one. Okay, okay.
And then I was able to do like two wholesale deals. One of the properties I was thinking I was going to be our first rental. But then not knowing much, I started looking at numbers and me and my
Hmm.
wife were like, hey, I think this property, she's like, Edgar, that property's not going to cash flow. So
So
we
she
ended
so
up
she looked at
assigning
it.
it.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Did
she
a
looked at
wholesale.
it. Yep. And
Yeah.
we just ended up assigning it. We made some money and we're like, oh man, proof of concept. This is awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So how did you find Pace? I'm always curious. I ask that.
Yeah, through, I mean, social media, YouTube.
Oh, he's a good marketer, isn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Okay, cool.
Definitely awesome storyteller.
Yeah.
But what's interesting though, initially I started following Cody Sanchez
Okay.
because I was like, you know what? I've been in this like a healthcare professional, business side.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a small third-party servicing company before. I was like, I know that kind of like private ownership type of business.
Mm-hmm.
I was part of their management team, and I kind of understood, and I was like, maybe we should go into buying businesses
Sure.
instead.
Mm-hmm.
And Cody Sanchez interviewed Paste on one of her YouTube channels, and I was like, man. And then the way he like just story tells.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I ended
Very
up joining his
captivating.
community, yeah. And I
Very
was like,
captivating.
man.
Yeah. Yeah. And the rest was history. So what year was that you joined Sub to?
It's been 2 years and a half.
2.5 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit
Okay.
past 2 years.
So joined Sub 2, you did some wholesale deals. And then how'd you get into Gator? Like how did they suck you into Gator?
Yeah, so I mean, after I did the wholesale transactions, I did lend some money out, and it
Hmm.
wasn't such of a smooth first deal that some people get into, and it's like, oh my God, I made a whole bunch of money. No, I ended up losing some money.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that piqued my curiosity more into knowing more about lending
Hmm.
business.
Hmm.
And so I joined Gator, and then I've attended several private money lending masterminds, hosted, Abraham Gray and Alexis
Hmm.
Morgan
Hmm.
hosted a few here in Georgia. I learned a lot more about the private money lending side of the business.
Yes.
And pretty much that's where I've been niching down and understanding more of that market.
Hmm.
Pace always says, right? Like you can't expect like huge growth like within a short period of time.
Hmm.
But this community's definitely been helpful, right? To be able to
Yes.
grow a little bit quicker than if you were trying to do it
I
on
love
your
that.
own.
On your own, absolutely. So you joined Gator, you're a private money lender. Talk to us a little bit about that. So for the audience listening in, so Pace Morby has different parts, communities, I should say. So we're in sub two, that's a real estate side. Gator is the lending side, and then we have Owners Club, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So um uh Edgar, so tell us a little about your private money lending. Do you do transactional or you do private money, gap lending? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely want to be like that one-stop shop for all
Hmm.
investors.
Love that.
Primarily, it's more for the newer investors that want to learn, hey, where can I get access to capital if they're going to do their first fix and flip, right?
Okay.
Or a new wholesaler, hey, I'm a new wholesaler. I wanted to get into wholesale space. I don't have the capital though for maybe like a double close or earnest money, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Or hey, I want to get my first rental, right? And I want to know how to get a DSCR, right? What is a DSCR? I see
Yeah.
people talk about DSCRs. So
Hmm.
I want to be that gateway, right, to help
Sure.
investors, right, scale
Hmm.
or gain their first fix and or do their first fix and flip or gain their first property or do their first household transaction. I
Hmm.
want to be that resource for them and hopefully continue to do business, right? But primarily that, yes, in the private money lending side, it is more narrowed down because I just primarily focus here in Georgia. But for hard money, fix and flips, right? Like
Hmm.
wholesaling type of double close transactions that is nationwide. I leverage my other capital partners for those type of deals.
Hmm.
But specifically here for Georgia, we only lend in first position.
First position. Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you. So you're doing EMDs, double closes, Morby methods.
Correct. Yeah, we definitely can handle that. Like I said, I do have partners that help me with those types
Hmm.
of transactions. But primarily, we could definitely, I want to be that one-stop shop for an
Okay.
investor, right? When they're like, hey, I need some capital, right? Whatever that capital is. I have resources that lend in second position. Those
Hmm.
are a little bit riskier. And I always suggest, hey, instead of going second position trying to find a lender, how's your credit score, right? Why can't we
Mm.
leverage your business credit, right? Nobody's
Okay.
going to trust you enough to be able to lend you money if the deal's tight, right? But why don't
Sure.
you bet on yourself if you
Mm-hmm.
have good credit score, right? Build up your 0% business credit, and
Mm-hmm.
then at that point you'll be able to bet on yourself, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then once you've proven record, you're going to be able to, right, be able to
Be
request
able
that
to request
capital.
it. Right, right.
But if you're new, right, that's what I always tell people that are newer in the space. It's like, hey, people are not gonna bet on you, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna because you don't have the
You know, you're
criteria.
right, right,
So
right.
bet on yourself,
Mm.
especially if you have good credit score and you can leverage that
Yeah, I
0%
like
business
that.
credit.
Okay. So take me back to, so you're reaching out to fix and flippers. So tell me a little bit about that. So how are you doing outreach? Like how do they get a hold of you? How do you even know that you're doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so a lot of my actually leads come from social media. I have a pretty good presence in Instagram,
Mhm.
Facebook. And then networking events, those are some of my lead magnets. I know I definitely want to be able to. I don't do any Facebook ads or Google ads or any of that stuff
Mhm.
yet. I
Mhm.
think that is something down the road that I'm going to explore
Sure.
just to bring in more leads. But currently,
Mhm.
they're all organic leads.
I love that.
But definitely, if y'all want to connect, there's my Instagram channel. Definitely follow. I share a little bit about, I also coach soccer, so you'll see a lot of soccer
Oh my
stuff in
gosh,
there
that's great.
probably.
I love
But,
that.
when it comes to lending, I'll definitely put in the types of projects we're doing in there and see how we're helping investors grow.
Okay, great. So if you are a fixer flipper and you're listening to this and you're in need of funding, please reach out to Edgar. It's Edgar Vargas on IG and check out some of his soccer. No, just kidding. So just take a look and see how he's lending and how he's been successful at that. So that's awesome. So that's a fix and flip side. But from an EMD, earnest money and a transactional, you also do that, but only in Georgia, correct?
So that's nationwide. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nationwide.
Nationwide. Yeah.
What do
Just
you
for
just do in
private
Georgia?
money.
Oh,
Just
the
private money
PMLs,
lending.
first
Yeah.
position,
Yeah.
corrections. First position, private money lending, only in Georgia. Okay. Is there a
Right.
certain amount? Tell us a little about the criteria, what you look for there.
Yeah, I mean, we're open. It's not, if the deals pencil out, right? I
Mhm.
have other capital partners here in Georgia that also would be willing to lend in first position.
Okay, okay.
Um, right, we do perform our underwriting, so it's not like, hey, I have a deal here, fund it,
No,
right?
no, no, you underwrite it. Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah, of course.
business, right? So we have to make sure that we're lending
Hmm.
to the as is value, where if something were to happen, right, we could recoup our money by either selling it to
Hmm.
on the auction, right, or potentially us finishing the project, just ways that we can recoup our money. We
Hmm.
are lenders, we're not in the fix and flip space. I
Right.
do have relationships with fix and flippers, but that's not my main
That's
business.
not your main business,
Yeah,
right?
so we feel good here in Georgia because it's a good state where the foreclosure laws are pretty favorable for a lender.
Hmm.
There's also good usury laws when it comes to how much we could potentially charge.
Hmm.
So just for those that are interested, we typically charge between 15% annualized up to 18% annualized.
Hmm.
So that's kind of just the ballpark there.
Sure.
And we do lend on the as is value, like I said, because
As is, yes,
we
yes.
do want to be secure on that capital. Um,
Would they need to have, if it's new, would they need to cross collateralize it, the property?
no, I mean, because like I said, we are lending on the as
The
is
as is
value.
value of the property
Yeah,
as is.
off the
Okay, that
property,
makes sense.
yeah. So, I mean, we're securing ourselves against that property.
That,
So if they were to, typically they do already come into the skin with some game,
mm,
because we won't lend. I mean, they have to be able to get it at a good deal, right?
sure.
We don't want to be the investors with the risk. It should be on the
On the
fix and
person.
flippers.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so the risk pivots to them. We are helping them though by providing that capital so they could acquire it for their fix
Hmm.
and flip.
Hmm.
And then typically, these investors have a pretty solid team in place, right, where they're going to be able to turn that property quickly.
Hmm.
And right now, though, market conditions are tough, right? I
They
think
are.
nationwide, there's a lot of properties that are sitting on the
No,
market
yeah.
longer. So that's why that underwriting is so important, right? Because if something were to happen, hopefully they can refinance it with one of our products as well, and they can
Hmm.
add it as a rental, right? Or
Sure.
potentially get creative on the deal and
Hmm.
sell it to another investor that does want to do a buy and hold.
I love that.
Um,
Yeah. Okay. So as far as you mentioned two things. One, the foreclosure laws in Georgia are favorable as well as the usury laws. So, as Pace says, right, lend to own. So,
Right.
once you're lending on that, you want to make sure that if something were to go south, right, you will be able to foreclose on that property. What's the foreclosure law in Georgia? Mind me asking.
Yeah, so it's 30 days, right?
30 days.
So we sent a letter to I haven't gone through the process yet,
Mhm.
but I know Abraham, through the
Yeah, yeah.
PML masterminds that I've been to.
hmm
Yeah, it's here in Georgia it's 30 days. So we just have to notify them and then they put it in the newspaper.
hmm
And once it's in the newspaper, it's pretty much 30 days.
30
And
days. Okay.
it's the first Tuesday of every month.
First
So
Tuesday, I know it was a Tuesday. I can remember it was the first and
yeah.
the last. Okay, so
Yeah,
30 days
first
first.
Tuesday of every month. And people that are wholesale, if you're looking at wholesaling and you're looking for, situations where you want to help homeowners, Georgia's a great state because every 30 days, there's homes that are going into
That go into
auction.
auction. Wow. Okay. That's good to keep in mind because if people are looking for, homes that are going to be foreclosed on to help out a family owner, they can certainly do that. Okay. So, all right. So we're going to segue. So you did sub two. Then how long after did you join Gator? Give-
Yeah, so I think so I kind of got lucky when I joined Sub 2 because those two deals came fairly quickly.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh my God, this is like super
This is
easy,
quick.
easy."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a matter of being consistent on the phone and dialing
Mhm.
agents. And then right after that, like I think it was 4 months later is when I
Mhm.
pivoted
To the family.
into the Gator group. And I mean, I still did a little bit of wholesaling, like,
hmm
but it was more just trying to help other teams,
hmm
just so I could keep that language, like, because it is different conversations, right? You're having, and
Absolutely.
I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want to lose that. So I did like no one left behind challenges. I helped other newbies, talk to agents and stuff like
hmm
that. So, definitely enjoy that space,
I
but
love that.
I didn't want to, I didn't feel like I needed to stay in the wholesale. I didn't see myself starting a wholesale business.
Right, right, right.
Um,
And it's
yeah,
good that you tried it, right? So you knew and you're like, okay, because like when we joined Sub 2 and Gator, there's so many shiny objects and it's
absolutely.
really, really difficult to kind of pinpoint what do I want to do. So,
Yeah,
tells us try something for at least 60, 90 days. And then you did it. You successfully wholesale and then you pivoted to Gator, right? So that's awesome. All right. So then what? Where did we first met? Was it Squad Up?
so I want to say we met at Squat Up and then we
I would
saw
think
each
so.
other at Owners Club. Um,
Actually, I think we met at Abraham's and
were you on the
the PML, the very
first
first
PML?
PML. Yes, we
Ah,
we were there in January. I think that was the
yeah,
first one, right?
yep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think there, and then we met a squad up again. So that would be April or March or something. So yeah,
yeah.
so we're along the same lines there. That was pretty cool. That mastermind was really awesome. So all right, so here we are, squad up 2024. Wow, I can't remember when 25, almost done already. And then boom, Owners Club. What made you join Owners?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Owners Club, I think it was just, being around high level people, right? I
Mhm.
mentioned earlier, right, how you can't grow by yourself, right? And
Yeah.
you need that community around you that's doing stuff at a high level.
hmm
And that was the way that Pace filtered a lot of people, right? I mean,
Yes.
because it's not cheap, and to be able to be an Owners Club.
hmm
So just being able to filter that many people out, right, and being able to part of this community of Owners Club constantly, I don't know, I want to say if it puts more pressure on us to be to continue to push ourselves harder to grow,
Yeah, huh?
right?
I
Because
think it does. I think it does.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely like, oh my God, I know Pace says, it's like it feels like people in Owners Club have said, "Hey, I'm getting too overwhelmed," but that is business, right? It's
That
like
is business. Yeah.
entrepreneur is being overwhelmed, right? It's like,
Mhm.
hey, constantly being able to manage different things, right?
And
Between
pivot when you need to,
yeah, and
for
pivot when you
sure.
need to, and
hmm
deal with family, deal with business. If you have a W-2, deal with the W-2, right?
hmm
Potentially deal with partnerships that don't go as planned
Right.
or when they are going smooth, being able to continue that lead. right?
Hmm.
Pipe. So just learning from others how they're accomplishing more better things in their business was like, I need to be part of this group. And
Yes.
um, when we were there, I called my wife. I was like, hey, I really want to do this. And she was
Hmm.
super supportive of me. She said,
Hmm.
do it. And then, we renewed for year two, and it's
That's
been
right. It's been a ride.
it's been a ride for sure. So
That's
definitely
awesome.
grateful and blessed, but there's so much more still that sometimes I look and like I said, right, it's like, oh my God, I still haven't accomplished what I want to accomplish, um, and you realize, should I pivot? Should I keep doing what I'm doing? I think it's just part of our journey.
It is. It is really part of the journey. So, okay, so you joined Owners Club. Um, my question would be, how do you bet for our audience listening in, you have a W-2, you're doing the lending, you join Owners Club, which we know is high level, and you have all this, you have a wife, you have kids, you have kids. Oh, you teach soccer, so yeah.
Yeah.
How do you balance everything?
Yeah, I mean, Pace talked about it last year, which was the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
time blocking calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a person that likes to time block, but when Pace taught it right and
Mm-hmm.
spoke to us about it, and if we want to definitely be successful and be an entrepreneur, right, being intentional with their time was that
Mm-hmm.
time blocking.
Yeah.
And it is one of the hardest things. You know,
Yeah.
me doing the Dave Ramsey thing, I felt like that was hard because I've never been on a budget, but it
Right, right.
feels very similar to that, right? Because you're budgeting your time, you're
Time.
allocating your
Sure,
time
yeah. Locating it.
correctly.
Right, right.
So, it has been one of the struggles, but I think it goes back to that, right? And seeing, hey, where can I really focus and dedicate my time, right? And time
Mm-hmm.
block. And sometimes a week goes by and I completely messed up my calendar, right? And then it's like, all right, let's get back on the
Let's
saddle.
get back on it.
Let's get
Yes.
back organized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but I think it goes back to that, just the same thing as when you're budgeting your business, you have to
Mm-hmm.
budget your time and time block it accordingly.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And that was one of the things. I mean, I thought I used my calendar, but when I did the calendar series and I really was intentional, and I still don't get it right sometimes, right? Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot, but that just to have it and the consistency, I think it's one of the key things that changed my life. That brings me to your Mount Everest. What's your Mount Everest? And for those audience listening in, it's your 5-year goal, and you can explain it better.
Yeah, so that 5-year goal is one of the things. Julie, how long have you been in real estate
I
space?
got into the real estate space around 2019. My current W-2 is property management, and I probably started investing. I got my first investment in 21.
Nice.
Mhm.
So I still consider myself like in that discovery phase
Me too.
of,
Every day.
right? It's
Yeah.
like, so when Pace first thought about the Mount Everest, right, like that
Hmm.
5-year goal,
Hmm.
I still don't have full clarity around like what my purpose or what my mission is within the real estate space, right? Because I I don't know if it's just a way that our minds are, or at least my mind, right? It's like, hey, I need to focus on this. I need to focus on this.
Hmm.
I know I should be aiming for like a bigger purpose. And during that discovery, and when Nita Patel was at our first owners club meetup, she talked about meditating. And initially, I was like, I want to help like immigrants, right, find housing
Hmm.
and be able to provide a housing for them. But that is a something I do see down the road, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it's 5 years from now or where that's at.
Where that's at in your timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is something. But for me right now, is just focusing more on the on like my shorter term goals,
Hmm. Hmm.
than looking at that Mount Everest. And but like I said, it's still that discovery phase.
Hmm.
But I know some people in Owners Club have just like nailed it down.
Nail
It's
it
like, this is
down.
what we're gonna do,
Right.
and it's like, wow.
And that's awesome that you said that you're still in the discovery phase. And if you're known as club and you're new and you're year one, it's okay to still not be sure and work on shorter term goals because you pivot. I mean, like your base camp, when you get up to the mountain, even if you don't reach it, you can change. So it's what you want, right? So don't look at other people and they're like, oh, they have it all figured out. So I love that you said that you're in the still in the discovery phase and you know high level what you're looking to do. And myself as an immigrant, and definitely want to help immigrants as well. Um, but like right now I'm focusing on veterans. So, who knows, it may pivot. So don't feel like you are locked in and this is it. I mean, if that's you, yes, that's great, but you're not, we're all unique. God created us unique for a reason.
Right.
So, just have at it and enjoy it. Enjoy the process, I think
Yeah, absolutely. I
yeah.
think that's where we're sometimes, as the entrepreneurs gets to us, right? It's like, oh my God, I haven't accomplished this, and you start getting frustrated and
Yep. Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, but enjoy it, right? It's like God did put us here for a reason, and if He planted that on me, it's gonna happen, right?
It
Just
will.
finding that the
And
right
his timing.
partnerships or right
And his timing.
collaborations, yeah, to be
Mhm.
able to happen.
Yeah, and that's
So,
awesome. Yeah, I love that. And then also, we look at it, we have so many chats that we're in and we're seeing so many wins every day. And sometimes you want to compare yourself to, everybody who's in the chat and doing different things like, Ria's doing this and somebody, like you said, people are doing RV parks and this and that. It's your journey. It's your journey, your family, your book. Write it the way you want it.
right.
You know, it's Edgar's book, so it's true. So, I love that. So if someone's watching this and they're new, they not in real estate, currently have a W-2, and not sure whether to go the real estate space like Subto or Gator, what would you recommend for them?
Yeah, I think it comes to personality. I mean, in
Hmm.
both sides of the business, right? If you're definitely more of a people's person, right? You like to talk to agents or you just like to have conversations, you know, either being a wholesaler, right? That's a great
Hmm.
option and entry. Or being a private money lender, right? If you want to learn more about, hey, I want to learn more about potentially co-living models, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to reach out to Julie. She's doing a lot of co-living for veterans, right? I
Hmm.
want to learn more of that space, deploy capital, but with solid operators. Definitely ask tons of questions. If you do have a profession and then you have cash just sitting around there, don't
Hmm.
be a knucklehead like me. Even if you join a community, there's great people inside the community, but at the same time, right, you want to do your own due diligence.
Hmm.
Um, it, it, there's not one solid answer to that question
Hmm.
because every individual, like you mentioned, right, every individual has different circumstances or where they're at in their journey.
Hmm.
Whether it's, hey, I have a little cash, or hey, I don't have a lot of cash, but I have a lot of time,
Hmm.
right? So if you have a lot of time and you could make phone calls, right? You could bring deals to the table, whether it's real estate deals or, if you have relationships with fix and flippers, you could reach out to fix and flippers or wholesalers and
Hmm.
bring them to me and say, hey, Edgar, I have a fix and flipper that needs capital.
Hmm.
I don't have the capital, but I know you do, right? Or you have relationships that do.
Hmm.
I'm going to pay you a referral fee, right?
Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
that, we all want to look out for each other, but that there's just different ways, right? So if you're
Yes.
new and you're in they're thinking about, hey, I want to get into real estate, but I don't know how.
How? Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's important just to start having conversations around what is like to me, like when you think about real estate, like initially it was like, oh, I'm just going to own a rental.
Hmm.
But within real estate, there are so many business avenues, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And just having conversations around, hey, Edgar, what is private money lending like? Hey, what is like being a hard money lender broker like?
Hmm.
Or hey, what is like a fix and flipper do? Or what does a wholesaler do, right?
Hmm.
And you start opening up all these chapters within real estate, and it's like, oh, you know what? This is more interesting. Let me read up on this more. And I think that would be a great entry, but yeah, you have to do a self-discovery on yourself before you,
Hmm.
and like Julie mentioned earlier, you have to commit to it 90 days.
Yeah.
To see if you're you have to commit to it for sure.
Yeah. And don't pivot too soon because you never really would have given it a chance, and I'm guilty of that because I was, I joined Gator first and then within like the next 4 weeks or 2 weeks or something, then I joined Sub 2. So then I pivoted to Sub 2 and then I'm like, oh, I was like so back and forth and then I'm like got on one of the Zooms with Carolyn, I think, and she's like, give it 90 days. And I'm like, okay, clear everything else off, just focus. So you really need to focus. I love that. So, if for our audience listening in, what is it that you need more of that can help your business scale?
Yeah, so currently my business is more about the lending again, right? So if you
Mhm.
do need any lending needs, whether it's hey, I know a fix and flipper, or hey, I'm a fix and flipper that need capital for a fix and flip, definitely reach out to me. I could give you soft terms,
Mhm.
no money up front, just hey, Edgar, I have a deal, I need funding, it's a fix and flip, I'll give you soft terms, and hopefully my rates are, our rates are super competitive, and
Mhm.
hopefully we can earn your business. Or if you're a wholesaler, right, and you are looking for transactional funding, um, I could be a resource for you. And if you're in Georgia, I'd love to meet you in person, and maybe we can do business and we can fund one of your deals here in Georgia.
I love that. Okay, guy. Okay, guy. Oh, I always say guys. I'm sorry. So if you're listening in and you're a fix and flipper, or you need funding, or you know some fix and flippers, please connect with Edgar. He's an amazing guy, always willing to help. He has a heart of gold, and I know that he would steer you right. Like you said, he's got competitive rates, so definitely reach out to him there. If you're in Georgia, go find him, man. Like he's super cool to hang out with, and I know Georgia has a lot of cool meetups. We got some really great people in the community, Eddie Charger, Abraham Gray. I could just go on and just name like so many people there, Roni and Tracy, and they're back from Jamaica with the craziness that went on there and the hurricane, and glad
Yeah.
everybody's okay. Okay, so your the best way to reach you is on your
Yeah,
IG,
Instagram
IG.
would be great. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. Well, before we head out, just one last question in regards to Owners Club. If somebody's listening in and they're currently in Subto and currently in Gator, we all have FOMO about Owners Club. What would be your advice to them? Because you're in year two. Should they jump on? Should they wait? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think it just comes to going what I said earlier, right? Like, where are you at in your journey?
Mm-hmm.
I know Owners Club is one of the best investments that I've made. It's not an investment where you're gonna potentially on where you're at in your journey, you may see a super quick ROI on that capital, but if you're not there where you're gonna be able to hit like the ground running like at 100 miles per hour
Mm-hmm.
and
True
fall on your
story.
face, you know, you may not make your money because people see it, right? As a, hey, what
Yes,
is what is going to be my return on if I spend this amount of capital, right?
sure.
So it depends on where you're at in your journey to me. I mean, if you want to be committed to it, it goes back to commitment
Mm-hmm.
and you want to hold yourself accountable at a higher standard, but you want to meet amazing people, it's definitely the right place to be at. Pace
Yes.
always gives so much more than he should. And
Mm-hmm.
if you think he gives in sub two owners club, he gives so much more, for the opportunities that he's providing to us there in owners club. So definitely it's worth it. But again, it's not saying, it goes back to where you at
Mm-hmm.
within your
Mm-hmm.
real estate space.
I love that. I love that. And I love the honesty because, we could say yes, join in, but you know what? You have to really be committed and know where you're at. One other thing too is, if you have active income, you want to be able to have that, going ahead of time. So at least and have some deals under your belt. So wow. Well, this is
Absolutely.
you dropped so much jewels here for us, and we really appreciate that from you getting started, from your W-2 to Sub-2 wholesaling, your Gator experience and lending and what you're currently doing. Totally appreciate just chilling with you and just having a good time and catching up. It's been a while, Edgar, and I really appreciate you joining me today. Any last minute thing you want to share with our audience before you head out?
No, yeah, just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity and being your channel. Hopefully, I get to have you on my channel as well, and we could chat a little bit about your lending space. I also have a YouTube channel. It's primarily just focused around private money lending right now,
Hmm.
and just sharing our journey as private money lenders, the oops and gotchas, that we went through. And I love to share journeys around private money lending because a lot of people think it's super complicated. It's not super complicated. It's super simple business, but you have to have your process in place. So, definitely check out the channel as well and hope to have you soon there, Julie, as well. We can chat about it.
Absolutely, I would love to. What's the name of your channel so we can have?
It currently is just Edgar Vargas.
Edgar Vargas. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I need to come up with a amazing dropping jewels channel like
Thank you, thank you.
that.
Off the pace, right? He's such a good, so great at this. So, once again, thank you so much, Edgar. It's been a pleasure, and thank you, audience, for listening in. Join us again for the next episode of Dropping Jewels, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys. Appreciate it.